And we're live, back with the passing show on Harrowings with your host, Hal Gill. We're looking at the Strip District sign and Convention Center sign for Pittsburgh. Our tower over there. The Renaissance Hotel. We're on the 7th floor. 5, 6, 7. And there's Lynn. Hey, waving at me from our room window. Yes. So she's going to stay in the room. The American Institute of Steel Construction on the 6th edge. I used to odd sidewalk looking down at the Allegheny River and up at the other river bridges, like across. Goes across to the point. No big rubber ducks on the river right now, but there's the ball field over there. The world champions, Pittsburgh Pirates, play there. World Series champions from 1909, it looks like. 1923. 1971. Say 1960 and 1979. On further down, there's the football stadium. Can't really pick it up from here. It's tucked away behind some of the buildings across the river. So, if you are just joining us, glad to have you. We're on a little mini vacation for Lynn's high school reunion in Latrobe, Pennsylvania. She's from there. Michelle Reed, Tim Lineweaver. Hey, good to have you, Tim. Lost Vibes 100. Thank you, sir, ma'am. Not sure what you are, but you are part of my board of directors now. Anybody who does a paid subscription is part of the board of directors of the Harold B. Gill Foundation, LLC. So far, nobody really seems to want to direct. Holly's here. Hi, Holly. And at least Leslie Mack has joined. So yeah, Pittsburgh's a lovely city. If you haven't been here, check it out. I was waving to my wife, who was up in one of those windows there, and at the Renaissance Hotel a little bit ago. And yeah, that's nice. Lynn's disabled from a stroke, and it would be really hard for her to make this walk. So we're not going together. And besides, she really hates modern art. And we're heading to the Andy Warhol Museum. I'm going to take you all along for the ride, mostly. Not sure how much narration I'll do. I want to remind everyone that every cent spent is a vote for the kind of world we are co-creating. Andy used to say, business is the best art. So, when you're spending creatively, you're funding things, right? And we go for convenience a lot in our country. But if we were more mindful and thoughtful, we might do differently, which might have good ripple effects throughout our society, transforming it. Certainly the world has been transformed by Pittsburgh. This city produced more steel than all of the Axis powers put together during World War II. Think of that. One city outproduced all of the Axis powers in World War II. These days, IT has taken over a good bit. Alcoa has its headquarters there. That's for aluminum, coal, and something else. I think I've forgotten. Alcoa. Big industry. You can see other companies like Wabtec, Forest, Mazars, advertising, Bat Heads over there. Yeah, ball field. What a great thing to have, right? Those seats usually occupied game time by rabid fans of Pittsburgh sports. I mean, Pirates, Penguins, Stillers. Stillers training camp is happening in Latrobe, Pennsylvania at the same time as Lynn's high school reunion. I think it's going to be kind of mobbed. we've been doing our little culinary tour as well. We went to Alibaba for lunch yesterday on South Craig Street in Oakland, right across from the Carnegie Museum of Art. After touring the Carnegie Museums, came in, checked into the Renaissance Hotel back there, and hit the Church Brew Works, a restaurant that is made in an old church and on Liberty Avenue, not far from Bloomfield. Just up there. I don't know. That's a church up there. I can see the spires of it, but I don't think that's the one. Um, that's what I want to tell you all about. That's the Hill District over there. August Wilson, the playwright, did a lot of plays from Pittsburgh, Chitney, piano lesson. The piano? What was it called? Piano lesson or no? I can't remember. Anyway, he was a great playwright, August Wilson. So many things about Pittsburgh I've forgotten that I need to try to restore my memory. But we'll see. Let's see how it goes. We're on the North Shore now. Mexican War Streets are up and over. A friend of mine used to live there. Had a good time viewing a couple of films together. We watched Kind Hearts and Coronets and Down by Law back to back at her place long after we'd broken up. And really enjoyed it, I just enjoyed being with people. Now, blue-collar workers, as we call them, surveyors in this case, are really the backbone of America. We should really be looking to how we can make people's lives easier, not harder, and enrich them with art and culture. And that's what Carnegie was about, right? All that U.S. Steel. That's the U.S. Steel building taught by UPMC, University of Pittsburgh's Medical Center. Tallest building in Pittsburgh. Pittsburgh plate glass is around here somewhere too. Don't see its spires from here. It must be blocked from some of the other buildings. Any case, I could go on and often do. This is Isaac Whitkin's The Forks of Cast Aluminum, 1984. Natural environment and its industrial past are both given tribute. And Whitkin's abstract sculpture, the flowing lines reminiscent of the confluence of the Ohio, Allegheny, and Monongahela, also reference the molten metals that were poured in the many mills lining these rivers. Giving the citizens of Pittsburgh more access to these rivers was a key factor in the development of Allegheny Landing, which includes the commissioning of public art for its walking paths. And here we are on such a walking path. I'm going to look back at the forks and look down at the geese, the people walking like I am, trying to get my steps in. I'm down a little bit right now, under 100% for the week, so hopefully I can get at least 7,700 steps in, which will put me at where I need to be at 100% for the week. Shouldn't be too much trouble. There were a lot of steps across the bridge. This is Ned Smith's Piazza Laboro and Mythic Source, cast concrete, marble, and terrazzo, 1984. Commissioned as part of the development of Allegheny Landing as a riverfront sculpture park. Smith's sculpture installations reference mankind's origins, the role of labor in human culture, and the balance between civilization and nature. The ground mosaic Mythic Source, with its prehistoric aquatic life, was originally installed at this the nearby Riverfront Plaza. Removed due to conservation efforts in 2016, it was then reinstalled within the architectural facades of Piazza Lavoro, combining these two works into one sculptural environment. So there we have it. Very interesting. People are the mainspring, turning the world around. So this way, I think, is to get us back onto the street. We'll go up Sandusky to the Warhol Museum once we reach it. Got a few more steps to go. Can raise my weight up a few inches here. 1, 2. Give those quads some workout. This is Matthews International Corporation, the North Shore Center. Across the way, Commonwealth, commercial real estate. And that looks like, I don't know, is it the back of the Warhol? Don't think so. Maybe. Yeah, probably is. You see a sculpture up there on the top. The Warhol Museum is about 7 stories of nothing but Warhol, and occasionally rotating exhibits. So I cross. Yeah, that's definitely Warhol over there. A little confusing, but I'll get my bearings. Get thy bearings. Tune often played in 1969 by King Crimson. There we go. Pittsburgh skyline. Sandusky and Isabella. If I'm not mistaken, maybe in the next alley, but yeah. Brought that young lady. And I was going to a clown painting exhibit. We ended up hanging out, going over to the church for dinner. It's a lot of fun. I was coming down from Williamsburg, Virginia. It was sometime between 2002 and 2003. To figure that out someday. Somewhere I've got the pics to prove it. So we did a photo strip and our clown noses. Forgotten her name now. That happens. It's Brillo soap pads in the parking garage there. And here we are at the Warhol. It is 10:10. I have tickets for 10. There's the Watson Incorporated bus. Hi. And this is the Warhol. Andy holding up a silk screen of Maryland. A little bit of Andy Warhol's TV. A Brady Bunch style. There's just... And museum. So let's just see how we can do here. Oops. Figure this one out. Gallery guide. Good business. Howdy.
Just small my ass. Excuse me.
First off, put your
Sorry. Just please take yeah, that's only thing that does.
I've got a 10 o'clock ticket. I've put on line. So, name is Gill. I already signed up. So,
Thank you. And you've been to this museum before?
a lot. In fact, I used to work for y'all through the conservation department and Museum of Art.
Welcome back. Then
You have your own service here?
Huh?
You have your own conservation shop here?
Yes,
Now?
it's going to be downstairs.
I used to share that with Museum of Art back in the 90s.
Okay, yeah.
And I was there 97 to 2000. I did a lot of the data entry in the database on all the treatments.
Yeah, we do have
So,
our own now. If
know
you can
pretty well.
actually see into it, it's downstairs in the basement and it's all like glass walls.
Take a look.
Kind of see it.
Yeah, I'll go down and take a look. Great.
Yeah.
Do I need to have anything to validate myself otherwise?
No, you're all good.
Very good. All right, that was fun. There's a theater here, and it shows pretty much round the clock film about the Andy. So maybe we'll take a little of that in.
Andy Warhol. Andy Warhol. Ponies I made John Waters. Each second, she was so fucking Jeff.
There were just people wanting to go there. They're looking for something different. And Andy loved it because it was like the ringmaster. And it just got bigger and bigger.
So I hope you all enjoying this.
The factory provided Andy with a studio where he could explore his childhood passion for the movies and turn real people into stars. He gave me his Honeywell pen to have and said, "You start taking this still because I'm going to be making movies."
So I started doing films and we just had fun. I mean, who doesn't like to be in the movies? You know, it's like, oh shit. He'd just turn on the camera and walk away. And at other times he'd say, okay, now go.
It's like, it's also a lot. Val.
So y'all digging it? Says my internet is on the stage. Let's see if the Andy Warhol Museum had some for me. So I'm just gonna leave the field for a second. You might lose the image.
On the screens. Pissed. Two people, their lips locked together. And I left the room and Andy said, "What do you think?" And I said, "Simply brilliant. Brilliant." The Chelsea Girls was Warhol's most commercially successful film and played art houses all around the world. This experimental film intertwined the underground characters living in New York City in the 1960s. He did a film that was a great job. And it was unique.
Says this should work.
Gross. It was great. It's called what's this? I don't really believe in pitting anymore. I thought it would be a nice way of combining, we have a chance to combine music and
All right. It looks like we're on wireless now.
help together for now. We're still burning down.
Let's see if he's still on.
Cool.
All right, we're still on. So if anybody has any comments, Vanessa 40 asked that people subscribe. I saw I'm not doing that. Unsolicited sort of DMs like that, showing all your scams. But we do have it. Look, like 10 others here.
Slides and colors, flashes, lights. It was amazing.
Ask anything, comment as you will. Little historical reference.
I hear this bang. It did it loud bang. I looked and I saw there's Andy lying in a pool of blood. And I went over to him and I said, "What's wrong with it?" And he was obviously shot. He was shot by this crazy lady called Valerie Solanas. Valerie Solanas was a writer who was in one of Warhol's films and was trying to get Warhol to produce one of her scripts. And he wasn't so interested in her work. She was.
Hey, I'm glad to see a love there. Hey, Anna. How you doing? Hang in there, folks. We're at the Andy Warhol Museum.
And he was saying, "Oh, Billy, don't make me laugh. It hurts too much." By the time he got to the hospital, he was declared dead on arrival. But amazingly, doctors were able to revive him. They saved his life. But did they? He wasn't alive after the shoot. Down to business. There was no more anybody coming to play. Play was out. Always driving us to sell. Ads, portraits. I said, "Andy, you're making millions upon millions. give yourself a break. Give us a break. Say, Bob, did you ever hear of Chan, the czar's gold Chan? He was doing everybody's portraits in the 50s. And then one day, nobody wanted a Chan portrait. The same thing could happen to me. He was so afraid somehow that he would lose it all. Warhol's brush with death breathes new life into his determination to cement his legacy, which sparked a series of political and celebrity portraits. For most of these portraits, the creative process usually started with a series of Polaroid instant photographs. He was turned on by every new technology, whether it be the miniature tape recorder, Polaroid camera, every new model of the Polaroid camera, the video things. He wanted to be right there doing it also. Merging his love of the portrait photograph and his relationship with celebrities, Andy created Interview magazine in 1969, breaking him into a previously unexplored medium, journalism. It was about discovery, not only of the big stars or established stars, but discovering people who had a lot of young talent. Once it became successful, it became sort of a flirting tool for him, because he would say, "Oh, you're so great, you're so cute, you should be in the cover of the interview." Having made a name for himself in fine art, film, sculpture, and journalism, Warhol then embarked on a personal project that collected the ephemera of his world and had the unforeseen effect of preserving his life and times.
Time capsule started because we had to move from 33 Union Square West to 860 Broadway, which is right across the park. He had all the stuff he brought from East 47 Speech Factory, and there were big boxes. And he didn't want to hire a moving company with us.
There's all kinds of things on these spots.
So it's nice to have you all sit in the cinema with me. I would like to see your comments if you have any. And we can be more engaged with each other here. I think that would be really cool.
One box could take maybe a month, another box could take 1 hour or less. And he loved the idea because he could collect even more and put more stuff in it. And he realized that
Time capsules.
What do you think? We're going to do the whole show. I'm here to have fun. This is Jenny's party. We're friends, and we're going to have a good time. So stick with us. Thanks.
That's it. I've got boxes at home. I've got extra boxes. And I have to make them. Dawn.
Warhol is virtually synonymous with Studio 54. On any given night, and his good friends were an essential part of the scene. There was this great mixing of uptown and downtown, today, spray black, white, and all kind of came together, which is what the 70s really kind of were about.
Come on, that's great. I mean, it's like being born again.
It was crazy.
I think the party's just getting started.
Hi, Neil. Good to have you with us. We're in the Andy Warhol Museum in the theater,
Cable television
watching.
Andy embraced the immediacy of
Amazing things have happened here in the past. Big part of my history.
Manhattan Cable Channel 10 wanted Andy to do the specials. And Andy's first show we did, we called Fashion. Then we realized we should open it up more. So then we called it Andy Warhol's TV.
Hi, it's really great. I hear you're wearing glasses. I understand you're going to do more on with the sometimes.
The Don Monroe, who was the director, came up with, let's do a show called Andy Warhol's 15 Minutes, playing off Andy's most popular quote. And the two gentlemen who were famous are 15 minutes. So why don't we use it now?
It's Andy Warhol's 15 Minutes with Grace Jones, Joe Nelson, and Angel Estrada.
Warhol made appearances on The Love Book, Tootsie, and became a spokesperson for Absolute Vodka and TDK, as he had done for Braniff Airlines in 1969.
When you got it, want it.
But negative reviews of these commercials forced him to question
Any comments would be most welcome.
had expired. And the time of the parties, he creates relationships with all of the young kid artists of the 1980s. Jean-Michel Basquiat, Keith Haring, Francesco Clemente, Julian Schnabel. They really have this conversation going through generations. And I think he felt on fun hanging out with the young new energy of the org as well. Inspired by these younger artists and finally accepted by his peers, Warhol returns to painting. Subsequent works increased in scale and led to some of his most ambitious masterpieces, such as his Gun and Knives series, Dollar Signs, Diamond Dust Shoes, camouflage, Rorschach, and a startling self-portrait. His celebrated and ambitious depiction of Leonardo da Vinci's The Last Supper, an homage to his religious upbringing, would be his last body of work. In February 1987, Warhol, who entered the hospital for a routine gallbladder surgery, died suddenly and unexpectedly. The king of pop art was dead at the age of 58. I called Paul in his house and I said, Paul, is it true that Andy dead? And he said, yes, he is. I was heartbroken. Absolutely heartbroken. I didn't believe it because I thought he would outlive all of us. He's a big loss. I've always thought of him as a family member. He was an everyday name at our hospital, too.
It was bad. Really bad.
So you had tobacco coming, something gone, something taken away from you. An emptiness.
To me, he was some kind of prophet, wise man, saint, which means you can be kind of all things to other people.
We were just a regular family. I had a job in the mill. I never thought he'd ever become that famous myself. He just went up there and made a hit on it.
He's a giant. Absolutely a giant. He had a lot more work to do. He let us A. The work he did produce will stack.
Here's a guy who was a painter, sculptor, a filmmaker, a photographer, a fashion model, a TV actor. That kind of willingness to participate in art on any level in any media, it's really significant. He was the filter that would take in ideas, images, and turn them out to his arts. In doing so, really became the documenter of his age. He became the most celebrated artist in history.
Us.
He was the American artist who outshining Picasso. The dream of his life being a dream. He wanted to be rich, famous, and glamorous. He became rich, famous, and glamorous. That was the highest accomplishment, I believe.
I don't think I believe they're acting together because I always think somebody dies, they actually just go out to town. They go to room dose and they just take a little longer to come back. Death means a lot of money. Death can really make you look like a star. Obviously,
So there you go. The introductory film. This has been opened in 1994 in collaboration between Carnegie Institute, the Diaz Center for the Arts, and the Andy Warhol Foundation of Visual Arts. It's a goalkeeper. It's keep protecting his legacy. Established in 1987 to advance the visual arts. And there's the credits. Take one. It was really a brilliant film. I should sit back. Let's go. I'm going to head downstairs. The store is quite good, too. I mean, I don't know if I'll buy anything, but good business is the best art. There's an exhibit called Good Business here. You can catch a little bit of my cameo in the reflection here. Try to get downstairs. Concrete, factory kind of finish. It's a big part of the atmosphere here. There used to be a lounge down here. I used to hang out with my friends. I loved it. Oh, comfy seats. Stop. Hey. Okay. There's the conservation center they have going now. I used to work the conservation in the Carnegie Museum of Art, and they didn't have their own conservation facilities here, but they do now. It's a Mick Jagger diptych here on display. And yeah, it's lovely. Love to get back into conservation. I mean to. Maybe I will. It's a matter of taking care of business, right? I'm going to go back up via the elevator. I'm going to go up to the top, come back down. Feel free to enjoy these art activities. Take them home later. Yeah. A while for the elevator. He says it's not a passenger elevator. Okay. Education department. Oh yeah, there it is. See a little bit of the education center. Kids get to exercise their creativity. The reason I'm painting this way is that I want to be a machine. It's a good quote. Oh, let's see. Yeah. Let's get everybody on board. That's excellent. Gonna be a slow day, probably. I mean, there are not that many people in the museum. And 7 will be going into the collection and galleries, archives, and the special exhibition on 2. That underground is Story Cafe up there, of course, the theater. We just saw part of the film. And I think I lost it. I don't know. We're still here. That's scary. That's how woman. So this is of interest. This painting had a smear of lipstick applied to it. There's a print of somebody's lips because they gave out favors at a Factory Fridays event, including lipstick. So naturally, somebody donned it and kissed the raw canvas right about somewhere. We had it cleaned with monoatomic oxygen. It made the top stories in Discover magazine, 2001 issue, and top science stories of 2000. And I swear, I think it was right about here in that white space of the wall-on-wall bathtub that somebody had kissed it. I tell the whole story elsewhere, and will again. But testament to the work the conservation team did. I came in one morning and the chief conservator said, Hal, this is lipstick and I want you to send it to NASA. And NASA had this monoatomic oxygen gun used to test space shuttle tiles that they found could also restore artworks that would otherwise be unrestorable. So that's a nice feature. Everybody talking, everybody walking.